Dimension Sigma. By José Alejandro Trujillo. Chapter 1: The Smartest Man in the World. Introduction: The Dimensions. Since the dawn of time, humans have tried to understand the universe. At first we only saw what we could touch. The first dimension, a line. The second, a plane. And the third dimension, our physical world, length, width, and height. With the advance of science, we discovered the fourth dimension, time, an invisible river that flows on without stopping, carrying along everything that exists. Theoretical physics suggests there are many more dimensions, hidden beyond what our senses can perceive, folded spaces, parallel universes, and overlapping realities that coexist in silence. But, what if there were a dimension unlike all the others? One that doesn't remain still, that moves. A dimension not found in a fixed place, but waiting to be discovered. A dimension tied to the human mind, to sleep, to the soul. A dimension not seen with the eyes, but felt when you sleep. That dimension has a name. The Sigma Dimension. Mexico City, year 2010. In one of the country's most important physics research buildings, a historic event is taking place. It's not just a scientific honor, it's a worldwide tribute. Today they honor a man who has forever changed the course of science, Mariano Flores. Celebrities, politicians, renowned scientists, and journalists from around the globe have arrived to witness the moment. Camera lights bathe the auditorium, TV networks broadcast live, and an expectant murmur fills the air. The stage, decked out in white and blue lights, gleams like a temple of knowledge. A poised woman in black with a firm voice steps up to the central podium. The crowd falls silent at once. The giant screens behind her show quantum formulas, dimensional models, and newspaper headlines from around the world. Presenter. Ladies and gentlemen, today we don't just celebrate a scientific achievement. Today we celebrate a man who broke the barrier between science and the impossible. Born in a small Mexican town, in a humble cardboard home, this man defied every statistic. With each step he took, his mind opened doors humanity didn't even know existed. With doctorates in quantum physics from MIT, quantum neuroscience at Caltech, and mathematics at Cambridge, he has led projects for NASA and CERN. He is the creator of the Sigma equation, a revolutionary theory proposing that dreams are not simple mental constructions, but real dimensional gateways capable of altering our perception of time and connecting us to other planes of existence. His research led him to discover and name a new dimensional plane, the Sigma dimension. According to his models, this dimension exists between human consciousness and the very fabric of the universe. For his contributions to theoretical physics and quantum neuroscience, he has been honored in more than 30 countries and nominated for the Nobel Prize. Today, the entire world pays tribute to the one who has defied the laws of reality. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mariano Flores. The auditorium erupts in applause and cheers. Mariano. 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 From the wings, Mariano Flores appears, dressed in an elegant black suit. He walks toward the podium with a steady stride. The ovation is deafening. But then, something happens. Sound distorts. The lights seem to freeze. The applause hangs in the air as if the world itself held its breath. Mariano takes a step, and time stops. Only he moves. The entire auditorium is a motionless portrait. Every face frozen in admiration. Every light suspended in space. Mariano, addressing the reader. Hello, my name is Mariano Flores. I was born in a little cardboard house at the foot of a hill in a small town called Acambaro, Guanajuato. All these frozen faces look at me like I'm a hero, a genius, as if I'd done something impossible. Pause. His eyes scan the still figures. But I wasn't born with a special gift. I'm not a genius. The truth is, the one with the extraordinary gift was my little brother. I want you to understand something. To get here, I had to live an entire life over and over again. I died and woke up always in the same place, on a straw mat next to my brother. Time has stopped a moment before he reaches the podium. He looks at the giant screens crowning him as the smartest man in the world. A faint, bitter smile crosses his face. Mariano continues. I've devoted my life to understanding the impossible. Science gave me answers, fame, awards. But that's not what I'm after. What I really want is to go back to Sigma. To return to the moment before my brother was murdered. And this time, change everything. Mariano takes one last step. The applause rushes back like thunder. Time resumes. Mariano continues. Knowledge stolen from time. Everything the world calls technological breakthroughs attributed to me. I had already seen before. I saw it in those lives I lived, in worlds that vanished when I woke. The difference is that this time, I chose to intervene. I took those ideas, made them mine, and presented them as my own discoveries. Not for glory, but for something darker. I needed resources. Funds, labs, power. To continue my research. If fate gave me the advantage of remembering futures that don't yet exist, then I would make sure to build them before anyone else. We lived in a little cardboard shack. My mother's name was Gloria, and my father's, Fernando Flores. My father worked at a market. My mother cleaned houses. We didn't have much, but she always found something to feed us. Ángel and I were little. We woke up alone. The cold slipped through the cardboard walls, but we were together, and that was enough. When Ángel turned 3, they sent him to sleep beside me. That night, everything changed. The first life. I came out of my hiding place and saw everything was different. The market had changed. My mother was an old woman in a wheelchair. She looked at me, crying. Mariano. We thought you were dead. For them, 30 years had passed. For me, only an instant. That night I grew up, got married, grew old, and died. And when I died, I woke up on the same mat. Next to Ángel. That's how it began. The awakening of the mind. Every night I lived a whole life. Every morning I woke with all that knowledge in my head. While other kids were learning to read, I already had ideas, formulas, and memories from other lives. And when Ángel stopped sleeping beside me, everything stopped. The timeline became a single line again. I wasn't the only one. I soon discovered I wasn't alone. There were others like me, young people with inexplicably advanced intelligence. After my brother's death, I wanted to know what had happened to him. I discovered that everyone who showed special abilities had slept next to Ángel in elementary school. Ángel didn't just dream. He created worlds. And he dragged us with him. The day everything changed. In college, Ángel and a friend of his fell asleep. When they woke up, that young man was no longer human. Without a word, he attacked my brother and drove a pen into his neck. That instant split my life in two. Since then, everything has been a search. A search for answers. And for the door. My investigations led me to discover I wasn't the only witness to his effects. Some of Angel's former classmates had empty stares, as if they remembered too much. Others had simply disappeared. But, what happened to the person who killed your brother? One of them asked me, shaking. What did he live through in that dream? Did he become a killer inside the dimension? My brother was good. He never hurt anyone. Everyone loved him. And, that's exactly what a killer looks for. It wasn't a dream, I answered quietly. I died there too. Others had searched for the door as well. And some never came back. The omen. That night I didn't sleep. The Sigma dimension wasn't closed. It was waiting for me. But you're probably wondering why I named it Sigma and what it actually does. Sigma isn't a random name. In mathematics, sigma represents summation, the act of gathering all elements into one. The The sigma dimension is that, the place where all possible realities are added together and coexist. In science, sigma has many deep meanings. In probability, it represents all possible events. In physics, sigma is a spacetime surface where the entire history is defined at once. Sigma is not just a site. It is the plane where timelines converge. Where the lives you lived, and the ones you didn't, continue to exist. Waiting for someone to cross them. And because time and space are handled differently, I have hope of finding my brother in one of them. Somewhere in sigma, he is still there. The recognition gala. The sound of applause still echoes. Mariano gazes at smiling faces. Everyone celebrates his genius, without knowing the truth. Narrator, voiceover. The world celebrates me for what isn't mine. They only see results, formulas, achievements. But they don't see the nights in which I died again and again. The lives I lived, and the ones I lost. Guests toast. Glasses raised. Guest 1. Mariano. You didn't just make history, you rewrote it. Guest 2. Your sigma equation will forever change how we understand consciousness. Guest 3, quietly. Or maybe it already changed it, and we don't even know. Mariano smiles politely. His mind is far away. Guest 1. Mariano. You didn't just make history, you rewrote it. Guest 2. Your sigma equation will forever change how we understand consciousness. Guest 3, quietly. Or maybe it already changed it, and we don't even know. Mariano smiles politely. His mind is far away. An elderly man with a cane approaches Mariano. Veteran scientist. Sigma. It's not a common name. You didn't just find something. You crossed it, didn't you? Mariano, surprised. What did you say? Veteran scientist, firm. You're not the first to try to go in, but you may be the last to make it out. Be careful what you're looking for, Flores. Some doors don't close. The man disappears into the crowd. The music swells. Mariano's face shifts from bewilderment to resolve. Mariano, voiceover. Sigma hasn't given me everything. Sigma took everything from me. But this time, I'll be the one to cross. And I don't intend to come back empty-handed.